All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I was given the privilege of getting a code from one of the homeboys this morning, so I was able to get some first looks at the game. I'm going to apologize in advance before I get into this information. The clips that were recorded for Season 7 were not clipped in 1440. I forgot to switch my shadow play off and back on when it loads up, so it clipped everything in 720. I'm doing my best here to give you something that's not visual garbage, but bear with me for the Season 7 clips on the new map and the weapons and the recoil changes. A lot of big changes to the gunplay itself, as you can already see in these clips. The PKP's visual recoil wasn't that bad, but here in a second, you're going to see one of the worst visual recoils that I think I've ever witnessed in any game I've ever played that is not a milsim, which is the Desert Eagle, or the BFP in 2042. It is basically unspammable. You just look at it. Okay? Look at that. I don't have to say anything about this. Just look at it when you try to full auto. Yeah, you can't see anything. And you'll see further on in a later clip that me trying to shoot at Ravik, I just can't see him. But anyways, why I'm showing the clip with the Scar and the Deagle pre-patch to Season 7 is because the Scar does not shoot this straight anymore. The Scar is one of the few weapons that got hit really hard with the visual recoil as well with the assault rifles. So it's no longer, to me, considered a meta weapon. So with all that being said, you can go to my VOD on Twitch. I posted the VOD for the first 3 hours. I played the open test or play test, right? So if you want to see all the weapons that I use, you can go to the stream. I'll post a link down below like I usually do, and you guys can just go watch the first 3 hours of the VOD. That's literally all of the play test. But the main weapons that I tested were all of the SMGs, the majority of the ARs. The only ones that I didn't touch were the RM68 and the VHX, because I just don't care for the VHX. It's already broken, and it's still okay. The RM68's recoil in Season 6 is already pretty wonky, so I figured it was just going to be worse, and I didn't really care to touch it. The two DMRs that actually 3 DMRs that I touched, 4 DMRs, excuse me. I used the DM7, BSV, SVK, and the VCAR. For the DMRs, if you're running a red dot, the visual recoil is pretty unbearable, but if you put an optic, like say I put a 2.5 or the 4X, the visual recoil actually gets reduced. So I think their intent there is to force players to run optics on the DMRs and play further back in that mid to long range category instead of playing them aggressively. Now, going into Season 7 itself, here's the battle pass. There's not really a whole lot here that kind of caught my eye. The only thing of noteworthy here is you get the SMG at level 7 in the battle pass, level 17 for the assault rifle, and shockingly, like level 37 for the new gadget for the Shroud, which I was told, again, wasn't that great. I didn't use it myself because I personally don't care, but level 37 in the battle pass, so it takes a little bit of grinding to get to, or you can just buy it, right? Whatever. However, with the gunplay themselves, right? In this example with the BSV got hit really hard, the visual recoil, pretty much with any attachment, which is fantastic. I'm sorry, but if you spam the BSV, please use another gun. Anyways, so with all the weapons, all right, I'm just going to go down the line of the SMGs and the ARs, right? Okay, so the PBX was pretty good. I actually have a clip in here from that. PBX was okay. The Bison, the PP29, actually has some really off-putting visual recoil, so it's a little harder to use. But any sort of like CQC map, like Redacted or whatever, even on this map when you play inside the building, it'll still be fine. But the visual recoil on that is pretty jarring. And so the MP9 felt good again. It's slight vertical or visual recoil jitters. And there was a pattern with all the SMGs that I used. They had a slight left to right jitter on the side of the optic. Except for the AKS and the P2K. Those felt the most consistent, and they actually played really well in Season 7. So the bullet velocity buff that the Portal SMGs got is noticeable. With the assault rifles, the M5 was okay. The AK was surprisingly okay. The AC-42 fell off. I didn't like how the red dot bounced with it. Maybe with the 2X, it might feel a little bit better. I don't know. But keep in mind, too, with the playtest, the intent wasn't to just kind of run around and steamroll each other. There were a lot of big names in here, people who don't actually play this game. Like Flom was in there, Gathalion was in there. There are tons of other people in here. So it was really cool to see some of the guys that I actually do watch on my own time in here. Like Flom is a big CS player, if you guys don't know who he is, and I'm a huge fan of him. So anyways, I nerded out a little bit for a few seconds, but anywho. So as you can see with the AKS, it actually is pretty good. But again, the whole point of the playtest was to have fun, test things as much as I could, and then kind of slay out a little bit here. But, you know, trying to get Ravic's attention here, he just, I guess, wasn't looking at a screen or something. But, you know, got to have fun with playtest, right? Anywho, so back to the weapons themselves, okay? So the assault rifles, the SCAR is, for me, completely botched. Now, someone else was telling me that it didn't feel that bad, but for me, it just wasn't good. And I don't have a clip of it in this, but I did use it for a brief moment in the VOD. So if you want to go take a look at it, by all means. But again, now this heavy hitter assault rifle, the AK-5Z, was a carbine and BF4. It's an assault rifle in this game. It's very unique in its kit. It's got a H-bar. It's got standard rounds, close combat rounds, and high power ammo. And I will tell you right now, the high power rounds are the only archetype that will give you a 4 bullet to kill. Everything else is a 5 for that. So close combat and standard rounds only are a 5 bullet to kill. The high power are 4 bullet to kill, but the rate of fire is hit pretty hard. You pair that with the heavy barrel and it's even lower. So you can really make this as an aggressive assault rifle, a hybrid carbine like it was in BF4, or you can build this as a heavy assault rifle and just like 4-tapping people out to 50 meters, and it does do that. Now, there weren't too many bugs in this playtest that I noticed with the map. The map in general plays fairly well on Conquest. I will tell you, we only play Conquest and Rush. Rush was very heavily sided for the attackers. Go figure. But, you know, whatever. The only minor visual bug that I saw was on this building, you know. But other than that, I mean, the actual game felt significantly better performance-wise than I have felt in any since Season 6. Now, with that being said, the mouse input still doesn't work. It felt the same. I just felt like my performance was a little more consistent with the tower that I have. So I felt good about that. Everything else, you guys just kind of have to play and figure it out tomorrow. So, I mean, most of the changes to the gunplay are good. I will say the multiplier changes to the time to kills quality of life is a good step in the right direction. I think it should stay this way. This is probably the most balanced gunplay that we've had in this game so far. SMGs are coming back. The new map is good. I don't have any complaints yet. Rats are going to be on these buildings, whatever. But other than that, I don't have anything else to talk about. And there's a lot in here. I missed a bunch of stuff, but if you want to go catch everything else, man, you're more than welcome to go watch the VOD and see everything that I used. But until the next one, guys, I'll see you guys bright and early for Season 7 tomorrow morning. See ya!